Welcome back to TRS. In this week's video, we're going to be doing warm-ups. So we're going to show you a general warm-up that you can do that will help you in games, practices, any sort of sporting event that you're getting into. It doesn't just have to be for football or soccer, but it works best for that. We're going to go through some warm-ups or some exercises that I'll give you throughout the video, but just a disclaimer actually. This is somewhat backed by evidence by FIFA 11 Plus, which will be linked in the description below. It does lead to reduction in injury, or it should, based on the evidence that we found. But of course, not going to completely prevent injury. It's not going to be some sort of magic medicine you can take. But in my experience of watching the game, playing the game, coaching, it really does make a difference in injury prevention, just how you feel. It's not a guarantee going to improve your performance, but it just makes you feel better, which in my opinion will make you play better. So the warm-up is about 10 to 15 minutes long, maybe longer, maybe shorter, based on what you do and what you add. You're going to need some cones, but if you don't have cones, you'll be fine. Just make some sort of reference point, so there is a lever, branch, or some shoes. Doesn't really matter what equipment you have, it's pretty straightforward. And yeah, if you want to follow along, you can do so, or you can save it and watch it later at another date. If you find it interesting, please share, and let's get into it. So the first part of this warm-up is finding our rhythm. And so we're going to start off with 2 little slow jogs to the cones and back, just to sort of get our feet comfortable on the surface, because typically we play on different surfaces, so just to sort of get that little bit of rhythm and get comfortable sort of bouncing up on the ground. Then we're going to go with opening the gates to open up our hip adductors, get that stretch going in there. And I made the distance quite long, so we have lots of repetitions. Typically we might see very short distances, which isn't a bad thing, but I would prefer to have a little bit more time to get into the movements. Then we're going to close the gates. And the biggest thing is just to sort of remember establishing good technique. So you won't be able to see it from this view, but we'll show it from other views. It's really important to have good technique. Don't try and do it too fast, especially at the beginning. It's about finding that stretch, feeding the pinch in your groin area. Right now we're going to go into high knees, which is a bit more intense. There and back. Then our heel flicks or butt kicks. So that concludes part 1. I'm not as fit as I should be, so I'm a little bit out of breath. We're going to move on to part 2 now. Whew. So with our lunges, take 1 or 2 steps in between. Again, make sure you really feel that stretch. It's really important just to prep our body for the types of things we're going to be doing in a game or in a practice. If you skip a warm-up, you could get injured, and we don't want to do that. So it's really important to take this seriously. Take 10 or 15 minutes and has many benefits. After lunges, we're going to go into something called grass cutters or sweeps. Many different names for it, but this is the movement. Stretches the hamstrings and the calves a little bit. Again, important muscle groups for many sports, but especially for football. I'm really trying to sit in that stretch for 1 to 2 seconds. Don't want to spend too long there, but try and get that stretch in there as well. On the way back. Okay, now we're going to get into something a little bit more interesting and difficult. It's going to be high kicks. Again, same sort of muscle groups, but just a bit more intense than before. Really try to touch the opposite hand in the sky. And if you're doing this in a group, make sure you don't kick the person in front of you, so give yourself a bit of space to make sure that you really do this properly. Again, for this one, the next one, really make sure you don't kick anyone behind you. We're going to do back kicks. Again, a bit of stretch in the quad and the hamstrings in the other leg. Really feels good to do this stretch. Really realistic game. You're going to be putting your body in many different positions, so you need to make sure hamstrings and quads are feeling stretched and ready. Again, we're making it more dynamic as we go, so they're going to be a bit more realistic as we progress. So the next ones are going to be something I called inside scoops. I'm not really sure the name, but you're going to try have your hands out and kick your leg to the opposite hand. This really helps sort of the outsides of the hip, and they're important muscle groups as well, especially for when we're trying to kick to open up our leg. And the next ones are front kicks. So knee up, kick out, knee up, kick out. Just get a bit faster. Again, hamstrings, quads, your knees well getting worked a bit more. It's important. And now I've done this one for each of them. If you feel the need to do another one, again, feel free. It's not really something you have to stick to. Adapt it as you want. Okay, so for this next part 3, we're gonna include higher speed movements that are more realistic to our game. So I've added another cone in the middle and taken these 2 cones and stretched them out a little bit. So it's a bit further of a distance. You can do the calculation on your own, but it's a little bit further, so just take it as you will. Again, if you're in a smaller space, you can reduce the space. But we're gonna start with side shuffles, and we don't want our feet to touch. So nice and low, just come back to the first one. All right, and then for the second one, we're gonna go all the way. Now you can do this facing the other way, but the way that we set the cones up, you go there and back, you're really doing it in both directions. If you really want to, you can face the other way, but there's no need to. Next one is karaoke. One leg behind, the other leg in front. I'll do it slow for this one, but obviously you want to do it fast. That's how we're going to do it in the game. Not going to do this exact movement, but you never know how you're going to move in the game, so this is good to open up the hips and the lower back. I'm going to do it again because I really like it and it gets me ready for the game, but again, adapt it as you want throughout the session. Now the last part of our warm-up is going to be sprints. So I'm going to jog the first one just to get an idea. So we're going to go to this cone, come backwards, then go to the end, and I like to just turn around and sprint back. If you want to, you can go backwards here too. So for the first one, I'm going to do around 60% of our maximum. It's hard to sort of guess what 60% is, but just give half your effort. Make sure you go all the way back. I'll say it's about 60% for me, and then 100%. Out of breath, but make sure when we get into the cones, slowing down, speeding back up. Keep good technique. So that is it for our warm-up. This will work for any general sort of practice, game, anything you're going on. This will help you prepare for that. There are still some things I would add if I was doing it for myself. I have problems with my knees and my ankles, so I'd look at things like squats, maybe jumping lunges, something like that, just to get a bit more motion in there, just to help me warm up my knees. And that's helped me a lot in the past to prevent injuries and just feel more comfortable in my knees. But if you have other parts of your body, like maybe your ankles, hips, or something like that, where you need to work on, feel free to add and take away things. If you feel more comfortable doing something else, feel free and do that. This is just one tool that can help you prepare better for your games and your practices, or even when you're just going by yourself. 10 to 15 minutes, just get it done. It will really help you prevent chances of injuries. Not necessarily going to improve in performance, because it's a bit more difficult to predict, but it can't hurt. And so another thing that we would do typically, if I was doing this with a team I'm coaching or I'm doing it by myself, I'd add a plyometric session afterwards and some technical work with the ball. But that's something we're going to look at in the future in the next couple of weeks, just to make our warm-ups even better. But as a beginning point for youth players, maybe like 5 to 12 years old, this will be just fine. Do this for your games, practices, whatever sort of event you have coming up. Even if you're playing other sports, you want to try this out, it can really help. It's really important for different surfaces as well. This will feel really, really good on grass, but if you're transitioning to indoor season where you have to work on maybe harder surfaces, doing this allows your body to get used to that, so you don't get hurt as much in games with things like shin splints and whatnot. So that's it for this week's video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Leave any feedback in the comments down below, anything else you want to see, and we'll get back next week.